Welcome to RE Uncut. Our daily shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rockend and CoreLogic.
Hello and welcome to the show. All this week my guest has been Jacob Aldrich, jacobaldrich.com. We're talking about not wasting the opportunities that emerge in a good recession, if there's such a thing as a good recession. Anyway, we'll call it as that for the time being. We've talked all week about the mistakes that principals make in a market downturn. But you know, there are different cycles in a business, and each business is at a different stage. I want to focus on that today with Jacob Aldrich. Back in just a moment.
Your business card is a vital selling tool and a constant visual reminder of who you are, what you do, and more importantly, how you can be contacted. Introducing our new Velvet business cards, featuring a luxurious premium laminate that has a velvet texture and is soft to the touch. Printed on a resilient 450 GSM card, these cards can be printed with a range of spot gloss and foiling options to give your office that prestigious look.
Jacob Aldrich, my guest for the final time this week. It's been a wonderful week, mate, and good to have you back. Thank you. Mate, I guess not understanding that not all businesses are the same. And this is probably a very good message for you because you work with different businesses. You can see different businesses at different pressure points.
Yeah, in my work as a business advisor, I tend to work one-on-one with small businesses across a range of different industries and even across a range of different countries. So I get some of that additional perspective. And right now, there's so much noise in the market. I've actually set up a rule on my inbox so that anything that has the word coronavirus in the subject line goes straight to deleted items. There's just so much stuff out there. And it's very easy for your team and for you to get overwhelmed by all of the negativity and to forget that actually your business is its own unique business. You have your own opportunities. And I think real estate principals kind of get this a bit better than other business owners I talk to because we know that the market cycles move differently. You know, all of my real estate's in Queensland. I'd have loved for some of what Sydney or Hobart have had over the last couple of years, but that's not what the Brisbane market cycle has been. And similarly, every business goes through its own journey. A business that's been around for 3 or 4 years is going to be very differently placed to respond to the opportunities of this recession compared to one that maybe has been around for 20, 25 years and the business owner is kind of over it.
Mate, the life cycle of a business is something you and I have spoken about in the past. And, you know, I work on a model, you know, the lifestyle of a business, you're either in growth, decline, complacency, ongoing growth. But there are different cycles for a business. And I think it's important to understand where you are at that particular point in time, Jacob.
Yeah, and it's useful to go back to January. We talked earlier this week about the January planning and how optimistic perhaps you felt. But if you tap into how you were feeling in January, and I break that cycle down into 4 phases: start up, scale up, step up, when you find yourself established but stuck, and then sell up, which is where you get towards the end and you go, well, am I going to sell this business or am I going to double down and really try and grow it? Where you were in January has possibly moved. A lot of startup businesses that were new and feeling very optimistic may at this point feel like they've hit a brick wall. Other businesses that were kind of comfortable, maybe not shooting the lights out, but felt that they were comfortable, are now suddenly really deep in a well, a pit of despair. And so knowing where you were, knowing how that has changed over the last few months means that you've got a much better idea of what you need to do as a single business, as a unique business, what you need to do, not what the media tells you need to do, not even what your real estate institute or your accountant maybe says you need to do, but what is it that you need to do to get yourself off the canvas, or even for those who are doing well, to keep driving, to keep pushing, to keep being successful, because what you need to do may differ from what your competition is doing, and it may be that difference that makes a world of difference in terms of making the most of grabbing these opportunities.
Yeah, not even thinking that you have to do the same as everyone else. And you identified that, just then by saying, you're doing something different from your opposition, but you're also can be doing something different from the market. Just because the market may be going through a tough time because of the virus doesn't necessarily mean that you have to. And I think that's a point you made earlier, was that your business has its own environment. It's got its own life. It doesn't have to live necessarily off the, what's happening around us.
And so the big opportunity, the big question, once you're through that response phase of a downturn, Mike Tyson has a great saying. He says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Well, we've all been punched in the face. Some people have gone to the canvas and they're not getting back up. But once you've shaken that off, you can start thinking a bit further ahead. Ask yourself, what is my business going to look like in 18 months' time? What perhaps is my market going to look like in 18 months' time? How is that going to change? And then what can I be doing right now to put my business where that market needs it? And yeah, absolutely, that's going to be different from a competitor that maybe is more established or is less established or is going to struggle. And every market's going to be a little bit different. I'm talking to some business owners down in Hobart. They're really concerned about the real estate market because it's been driven so much by tourism, Airbnb, and the universities down there. Two industry sectors that have been absolutely smashed. Now, they're not as much of an issue where I am in Brisbane because, sadly, not many people want to travel the world so that they can see Brisbane. But that means that we're better placed to respond. We're not going to be hit quite as hard. We might be impacted by other changes, including some legislative. But those are the things that you as a business owner have the opportunity and the responsibility to work out and decide for yourself.
You mentioned there those questions, and I want to go back over them again. You said, how will my business look in 12 months' time? How will the market look in 12 months' time? I think too, if you ask yourself, maybe frame that in a different way, what do I want it to look like? Because that's the purpose, isn't it? That's like, I'm not crystal balling here. This is actually what I want. And when I want it, it's going to happen.
And I think we're heading for an L-shaped recession, which means that we're going to have a prolonged period of bouncing along the bottom. We're not going to bounce back up at some point in 2020. And you know what? That's fantastic because it gives you more time to answer that question fully. What is it that I want? And a lot of us, myself included in business, are sitting here going, well, I was building business X. And now that I've had the forced opportunity to just step back a moment, I can see that there were some parts of that maybe I didn't like, or maybe there were some opportunities I didn't even realize were there. And you're absolutely correct, Kevin. That is the right way to phrase it. What is the business that I want to build? And then what can I do over the next 12, 18 months, starting now, not delaying it, to create that business?
There you go. That's the challenge. So what are you going to do about it? How will your business look in 12 months' time? Mate, I've really enjoyed this week. It's been great. I always enjoy talking to you. Jacob Aldrich has been my guest, and the website is jacobaldrich.com, and you can use any one of the links on any one of the pages on RE Uncut all this week. Jacob, thanks for your time. Stay at home and stay healthy. And get some good coffee, okay?
Get some better coffee next time I'm allowed to leave the house. And remember, don't waste a good recession.
The daily RE Uncut shows are supported by Printforce, Shore Agents, Rock End and CoreLogic. RE Uncut is one of the anchor shows at retplus.com, the home of property.